Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just get myself together. Come on in. Man, this wind is blowing hard. Just getting my coffee together. How's everybody doing this morning? What is this? All right. Come on, come on, come on. Here we go. Just get my coffee together. Try not to spill it. That's good. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Hash. Good morning, Shelly. How are you? Feel shiny this morning. Just trying to get my coffee together. Good morning, Gwen. How are you? This wind is blowing like crazy wild this morning. It is what actually woke me up this morning. So, good morning to the wind and good morning to everybody this morning. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. So, I think I'm like less than 10 away from 2K. So, good morning, growing what I eat. So, normally I wouldn't ask you to share out the live, but if you can this morning, share out the live. I'm like less than 10 away from 2K, which for me is a great accomplishment this morning. So, how is everybody feeling this morning? Drop it in the chat. Start my goal this morning. How was everybody feeling? Yeah, and smash that like button as you enter. Because if you're like me, you may forget. Because I do forget from time to time. Completely guilty. So how's everybody doing? What's everybody's temperature this morning? What's everybody's temperature this morning? Are you staying warm? Are you cold? Are you cold? Are you staying warm? Trying to get myself together today. We're going to talk about something that most of us discuss. And that's a very common plant. So I went down a rabbit hole last week, and I'll give it a little bit to start this morning. So I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole when I was thinking about brassicas, because you know that it's very cold out here. So most of you know, or if you've seen on video, I bought my cabbages and I have some kale and collard greens on the inside that I've been growing and harvesting and things like that. So we're going to talk about, is 41 there? I will trade you, I think. 41 would probably feel really good. We need some warm weather up here to melt this snow because it's not melting. Thank you, growing what I eat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Good morning. Okay, so before I start, I'll do some ground rules. So number one, if you come back and you watch the replay, please watch through to the end. We're going to talk about brassicas. It's going to be a topic that I'm thinking I'm going to say a lot of stuff that people know, but I'm also going to say a lot of stuff that people probably don't know because I didn't know it until I started researching it. And so, like I said, I went through somewhat of a rabbit hole and I was just going through trying to figure stuff out. So number one, when you come in, make sure you hit that thumbs up on your way in so you don't forget. Number two, please do ask questions. I like an interactive chat. I like it when everybody tells me their opinion and what they do. I feel like sharing is caring, and that's how we learn. And number three, let's keep it respectful. Respect everybody's opinions and what they do. Everybody does things differently, and nobody is perfect. And then I'll make the other announcements as people come in because I've been noticing that people ask me a lot, people that don't know and that aren't here regularly, ask about if I grow illegal. Well, it's not illegal in New Jersey, but if I grow cannabis, and I do not. So let's just put it out there. I do not. So if that's the stream that you're looking for, I'm sorry, this ain't it. Okay? Thank you. Like, shares, and all the things. Yeah, you know how I am about that. All the things. Let's do all the things this morning. So we're going to talk about some brassicas. And y'all, my printer was not being friendly with me yesterday. Hey Chanel, how are you? How was your week? How was everybody's week? Before we get started, tell me. D-May, how was everybody's week? All right. So you'll notice that the title of the stream is Garden Kardashians, the Wild Brassica Family. So the reason why I named it that is because you know that the Kardashians, they all have similar traits and they all come in together, but they're actually one species, right? And so it's the same thing with brassicas. So I did not know that brassicas actually came from one plant. So what I did was I have my printer wouldn't act right. So I'm gonna try to. It was cold and busy. Happy for the weekend. Me too. I had a very rough work week. So come on in. We have 26 people in the chat. Let's make sure we go in and take the poll this morning. Take the poll. But before I get ahead of myself, let me just show you guys this picture. My printer wouldn't act right, but I did pull it up on my other phone. So yeah, check this out. See this? This middle plant? That's where all of the rest of them come from. So I didn't know that the plants were all related, right? If you knew that, tell me if you knew that all of the brassica plants came from one plant. So check it out. I don't know if you could see it. Oh, it timed out. There you go. So they all came from one plant. Okay. So here we go. You're 9 to 5. So Shelly's saying, yep, the week is busier than you. It was busier than usual this week at your 9 to 5, and that made me sad. So is my brother in here yet? I don't know. Grand Rising. Good morning, everybody. I'm gonna let everybody come on with the education today. So I did not know that, right? So I 1 second. I didn't know that. So I went through a whole rabbit hole, and I'll tell you why I went through the rabbit hole. I went through the rabbit hole because y'all might have seen from one of my shorts. I was trying to fertilize my brassicas inside, and I put 511 in here, and it was very stinky. I need to slow down away from more people. I will. So let me chat with you guys for a little bit. So I put 511 in here, and it was stinky. So can y'all tell me? I know we use 511 outside, but like on the inside, it was smelly. It was very, very smelly. And I had a time opening up windows, and then it's cold, and then I had to close the windows, and it took me like about 2 days to get that smell off the sun porch. So I was just looking for things, and so that's why I went through the rabbit hole, right? So where is he? Brother, are you in the chat? So I was gonna say, work made me angry this week. So angry that I kind of took it out on my brother a little bit. So he called me last night and was like, I need you to get some sleep because you are grumpy. I was like, you know what? He right. I'm very grumpy. Oh, hey, the Nichols. I didn't see you come in. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. We getting the coffee being ground up this morning. Everybody needs a little coffee or tea or whatever it is that you drink in the morning. Tomorrow is going to be like a little coffee and chatter type of segment, right? Coffee. You been here? Appreciate it. So my brother said I was grumpy yesterday, y'all. So he told me to go to bed. But in terms of content wise, I got a lot accomplished. So let's jump right in. I think we got a good amount of people here. So I'm gonna show this picture one more time, maybe a few more times, because I want everybody to see. And it's called Brassica oleracea. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up the phonetic way to say it, but check it out. Check it out. So this, and it's probably written backwards. Is it? Yeah, it was written back. It's written backwards. My brother could tell you how grumpy I was. I was biting his head off yesterday. Yeah, Rich is in the building. So here's the bombshell. Broccoli, kale, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, kohlrabi are all the same species, right? So we could just go through it. Very aggy yesterday, I was. So broccoli is the green tree-shaped smoothie. Well, green tree-shaped veggie. When my daughter was little, she used to call them teeny tiny trees. So that's how we used to get her to eat them. Kale is the smooth, leafy, trendy smoothie vegetable. Everybody call it the super green. Cabbage is the round layer head. We all know that. Brussels sprouts are the tiny mini cabbages on the stalk. We know that. Cauliflower, the white cloud-like head. And then you have the kohlrabi, which is kind of like a alien bulb on the stem of the plant. So a lot of people skip that in the store because they don't know what it is. But I'm here to tell you it's part of the Brassica family, and they all come from the same species. That's right, Nichols. It's a new day, and I'm actually in a really good mood today. Okay? So I got my sleep. I had some time to think things over, and I'm in a great mood today. So, um, So they all look different. All of those plants that I just named, they look different, but they have the same DNA, right? So here's an analogy that the internet gave me, right? So when you think about it, right? There's a Great Dane, and y'all know what a Great Dane is, right? A Great Dane is a huge, tall, weighs over 100-pound dog, right? It's a huge dog. And then you think about the Chihuahua, right? So a Chihuahua, tiny, loud, fits in a handbag, looks completely different. So a Great Dane and a Chihuahua. So if you really think about what species they come from, it's called the Canis familiaris. I don't know how to say the word, but they come from the same species is what my point is, right? So 100% dog, they're just bred to look wildly different. So that's how the internet would describe um, the dog species between a Chihuahua and a Great Dane, right? So how many of you guys are... All right, so I want to go back. Good morning, Nisi. Good morning, good morning. I want to go back and look at the poll. My computer is acting weird this morning. It won't let me look at the poll. So I'll go back and look at the poll in a minute. All right. So you get the similarity between, like, it's the same species but different plants. I'm like, it's not rocket science, right? So kale, the big leafy, open and sprawling. So we said that same species, just bred for totally different parts, right? So same species means that they can interbreed and make a working offspring. So all the different plants are their working offspring, right? So I had this my printer made it hard for me to kind of do my show and tell this morning. Good morning, Tamiko D. Oh, I resent out your mail, so you should have it any day now. So I resent out your mail. All right, so let me try to look this up so I can show you wild cabbage. So I'm using my phone this morning to help me do my show and tell, because I wanted you guys to see what I kind of saw. Awesome, thank you so much. You are so welcome. So welcome. Okay. Show you all this picture. Tell me. I did not say collards. So collards are a different species of the Brassica family. So that's kind of different. But check this out. See these wild cabbages on a cliff? They're wild, right? And put it back up there so everybody can see. So wild cabbages on a cliff. And they're scraggly, small, and they're tough. And the wild ones are very bitter and they grow in most places that you think um, where plants would die. So it's like a lot of salt, crashing waves, but those brassicas survive because um, they have a lot of different traits that make them. Let me turn on the live chat because I can't see everybody. I want to be able to say hello to people as they come in. So, excuse me. Good morning, Soul Diva. How are you? Did you say collards? Cabbage, yuck. Brother, we know you don't like cabbage, but it's not because they're not good. It's because you ate a lot of them, right? So, um, but yeah. So, let me just check the poll. Here we go. Now I got it. How many of you grow brassicas in your garden? So, a good amount of you do. So, I'm going to end this poll. And then I want to know this. Which of these plants is the hardest to believe that it's a brassica? Well, that is a cabbage. And they all kind of taste similar if you really think about it. If you really think about it, they all taste similar. And then one more. So which one of these are you surprised is a cabbage? So the one thing that I wasn't surprised was a cabbage was a Brussels sprout because they just look like little teeny tiny cabbages. So I just assumed that they were cabbages anyway. Let me move this up. So let me know in the chat which one of you think, well, which one was the hardest to believe was a cabbage. Check me out. All right, Romanesco. Okay, so yeah, because Romanesco looks vastly different, it's hard for a lot of people to believe it. Kohlrabi, I kind of figured was a cabbage because when I cut it up, it kind of tastes like a cabbage, how I cooked it. Romanesco, because you don't even know what that is. Go here, I'm gonna show you. I saw a lot of people had Romanesco seeds. Well, yeah, it looks like a broccoli, right? Let me pull up this image. So Romanesco, because you don't even know what that is. Here you go, Shelly. Romanesco. It looks like broccoli, but we now know that broccoli is a cabbage, right? So you got that? So yeah, that was pretty hard to believe because I didn't know that broccoli was a cabbage. Romanesco looks like a green cauliflower. Yeah, well, cauliflower, broccoli, they all look the same, but all of the broccoli and cauliflower, they're all cabbages. It doesn't look, does not look appetizing. Has you right, because I wouldn't eat it either. I'm a very visual person here. Good morning, Janet Potter. Yeah, that looks very interesting. It looks very interesting, Shelly says. It looks very interesting. I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. She said, wow. Yeah, Shelly, Chanel, as your mind is blown. Listen, I didn't know this either. Um, so of the 6 plants that I named, Shelly says, see, that's why we different. You would try it just because it looks so interesting. Yeah, no, not me. So when I go to the store or when I go to a restaurant and things have like really fancy names and they say, oh, it tastes like blah, blah, blah. I usually say no because usually what they say it tastes like it doesn't. And if I'm going to pay for my food, I don't really I want to enjoy it without picking through it to figure out if I like it or not. But that's just me, right? I want to pay for food that I'm going to eat. So, all right, chat. I named 6 plants in the beginning, right? 6 plants. 6. Which of these do you actually grow at home? And which one gives you the least trouble growing. So we named, what was the 6 plants that I named? Let me go back so I could tell everybody. Which do you grow at home? Broccoli, kale, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, kohlrabi. Which one do you grow at home? You may not try it at a restaurant. So Shelly's saying, I may not try it at a restaurant where I have to pay for it. We're given an opportunity, you would try it for free? Uh, I might would, I might wouldn't. So certain things, if it looks funny, okay. You grow that. Chanel grows beautiful cabbages. I saw a picture once. They looked amazing. So yeah, so Chanel grows cabbage. Who else grows stuff? Like I grow kale. I grow, I've never been successful with growing broccoli, so that's the one that gives me the trouble. Um, what else do I grow? Grown cabbages before, kale. Never successful with, um, never successful with Brussels sprouts or cauliflower. Nisi says broccoli this season, kale, cabbages, cauliflower this season. Okay, so you're gonna grow them all this season. So I'm gonna give it a try. And actually, later on in the stream, I'm actually going to show you. I'm gonna pull the broccoli out of the hydroponic system, and I'm gonna up pot it because it's way too big for in there. And last weekend you saw I cut some of the broccoli leaves, and I ate them, and I couldn't tell the difference. Right? Couldn't tell the difference. I'm looking over at my laptop because it's giving me some problems this morning and I don't like it. Miss J.K. Gardner says, good morning, everyone. I've tried all of the above. Now ask if they were successfully grown. Nope. Hey, you just got to keep trying. That's what I do. That's what I do. I'm going to keep trying these plants until I get them to grow. They going to grow for me, okay? I'm going to get them to grow for me, and that's my word, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep growing and see what happens, right? So let's go through the different vegetables, right? So let me end this poll. Okay. So it's the hardest to believe that kohlrabi is, yeah, try and try again. That's right. Kind of like the little engine that could. Y'all ever heard of that book? The little engine that could. The little engine that could. So let me see something real quick. All right. So we're going to start off with the kale. And I might speed through these. So if you guys need anything, broccoli and cauliflower, no success yet. Grand Rising. Listen, broccoli and cauliflower, no success yet either. So we the same. That's my art. Good morning, Patty. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Patty. But which one, yeah, which one gives you, so kale gives me the least amount of troubles, right? It's so easy to grow different varieties of kale. So I'll give you an example. So like I'm growing kale inside. So let me just grab the kale so you can see. And I've been harvesting off of these plants here. So I harvested off of this one last week. And it's so easy to grow. I need to kind of water these a little bit, but super duper easy to grow. I'm looking in there because I thought I saw something move, but it was just my imagination, right? And I'll show you guys something else that kind of like a little actual show and tell. Here's my cabbage, and if I tilt it, okay, you'll see in the middle, it looks like it wants to come to a head soon. And so this is why I can't wait for the snow and everything to melt, because I want to put these outside to let them do what they do outside. So check out, looks like it's going to start heading in the middle, and I have about 4 of them that look like they are ready to start growing. Let's see. Singing is just my imagination running. That's right. It's pretty. Okay, it's easier for me to look. Oh, that's so cute, Chas. The cabbage is so pretty. Yeah. Really easy to grow. Kale is really easy to grow with the least amount of problems. that part, and that's why I like to grow it. And you can use kale in different things, right? So kale is what they call the leaf hack. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of history just because I went through the rabbit hole. So I'll share with you what I found out. Good morning, everyone, says Old Hillbilly, aka Larry. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you this morning? Let me try something. I tell you what, before I go on to the history of the different plants, I discovered something and someone brought it to my attention. When I gift out memberships on my channel, you have to enable it on your page. So if you have not enabled membership gifting, meaning you want to be able to receive one of the gifted memberships and you know you're here all the time and it's like, why not? Why not? Like, why not yet? Why haven't you gotten a gifted membership yet? Follow these steps, listen in your head. You can go back and do it later, right? So you go in, you hit the little dollar sign or whatever, right? You're not buying anything. Go to where it says memberships, unlock perks. You click that, and when you click into it, there are going to be three little dots at the top, right? Click into the three little dots, and then it's going to say gift membership settings. Inside of the gift membership settings, you need to enable that you can receive gifted memberships. I may give out some memberships at the end of the stream, but I just wanted to be transparent on how you enable them for your channel in order to get gifted memberships. Okay. So I got that. I don't like kale. There's not many veggies I don't like, but kale is one of them. Why not? Why not? The wife is trying to set her new laptop up. Ooh, she got a new laptop. Fancy, fancy. Okay, let me go through the kale. Kale is the starting point, right? Kale is the starting point. It's the closest to what the original wild cabbage looks like. So it's the beginning, around 600 BC. Ancient farmers started picking plants with the biggest, most impressive leaves. So you know that we eat the kale for the leaves. I'm going to give you a trick, Larry, later to why or when you should eat kale when it tastes better, right? So they didn't have a plant or a lab. They just kept the best looking plant each season and planted its seeds. I heard something in the back of me. Jackie Cooper, good morning. So that's where it came from. So that process of name is named selective breeding. So the process of getting the bigger leaves, that's what they used to call selective breeding, right? Kale's leaves are still the main event, but that's the whole vegetable. So you know that recently kale blew up as like what they call the superfood, right? It's high in vitamins A, C, and K. So people started putting it in smoothies and everything, and it became what they call the influencer veggie. So that's a little bit about kale. So you're welcome, the nickel. She said, thanks for kale has a strong taste raw. Cooked it tastes like nothing to me, but that's just your opinion. Okay. Nickel said, I heard that too. I might start kale to teach a few kids on how to grow for their bearded dragons. You're going to feed kale to lizards? Because is that a lizard is a bearded dragon? Oh, look at that. Plant Daddy a member for 2 months. There you go, brother. Oh, I forgot that you guys got the members. You guys can go in and check out your monthly free super chat. You get a free one. Okay, come on with it, Plant Daddy. So kale is the super plant. Yeah, come on, Plant Daddy. All right. So I'm gonna say something that's gonna blow your mind about cabbage. We're gonna move right into cabbage, right? That's right, he ain't no punk. Cabbage is like the storage hack, right? So here's the history on cabbage. Romans had a real problem. Most vegetables died in the winter or went bad fast. So you notice that you can keep cabbage a little bit longer than the rest of the brassicas in that species, right? They needed something that could survive the cold and last a long time, so they bred for it. So you heard it, cabbages were bred. They ended up with the plant and grew one giant one tight head instead of open leaves. Here's the science behind the head of the cabbage. Every plant has something called a terminal bud. Good morning, G Mama. If you don't believe me, research it for yourself, because when I read this, I started going into different websites to see if I wanted to believe what it said, right? So they have what they call a terminal bud. It's the main growth point at the center. So that's why it heads into the center. Normally it opens up and grows into outward leaves. So the Romans bred the cabbage so that the terminal bud stayed close, and they just kept layering it on top of each other, right? So the cabbage head is literally one massive bud that just never opened, layer after layer. That tight, dense structure is why a cabbage lasts so long in storage, less exposed to surface, and less rot. So that's something that I didn't know. Okay, so that's something that I didn't know. Larry says, I love cabbage, cooked, raw, coleslaw, you name it. That's right. If you eat coleslaw, put a 1 in the chat. If you eat coleslaw, put a 1 in the chat. Let me know if you eat coleslaw. 1. Let me just get this off my screen. 1. Okay. You love coleslaw? I love coleslaw too. That's why I asked. I wanted to know if we was the same. If me and you people were the same. I love coleslaw too. I like it cooked. Now, I'm not going to sit here and eat cabbage just straight up raw. It has to be made into something. My brother does not like cabbage. So for me, when I read about the terminal bud, the aha moment was that the cabbage is not a bunch of leaves. It's one single bud. It's just really claustrophobic, right? So that's, in my opinion, a great way of thinking about it. So you're making homemade coleslaw today with fish for dinner. Am I invited to dinner, Chanel? Am I invited to dinner this time since you're making coleslaw from scratch? I didn't say I eat cooked coleslaw. I said I eat cabbage cooked and I eat coleslaw, right? So that's what I said, not cooked coleslaw. But she's making coleslaw. I'm always welcome there. The wife's cabbage did really well until the last cold spell week. Froze them solid. Oh man. So you probably should have tried to maybe pick them ahead of time. Probably should have tried to pick them ahead of time. Am I going in and out for y'all? Let me, if you can hear me and I'm clear this morning, can you put a 1 in the chat? Because I just want to make sure that it's just my laptop giving me problems. I probably should have restarted it last night and it's not just me. If you can see me and hear me clearly, put a 1 in the chat. Let's start another goal this morning. Perfect. Thank you guys for telling me that. I just want to make sure. All right. So, all right, perfect. I might restart this laptop while I'm here, but the only thing is if I restart the laptop, then I can't see the full chat. I can only see some of the chat, which is kind of crazy to me. YouTube need to do better on these phones, right? All right. So let's move on to the kohlrabi. So the kohlrabi is the odd one out, right? Do I like coleslaw sweet or not sweet? I like them both. It depends on what's in it. So yeah, I like them both. So how many of y'all eat kohlrabi? Put a 1 in the chat. You had to move the phone because it was throwing you off? Yeah. Let me move this over. Maybe it's something. No sweet slaw for G Mama. No sweet slaw for G Mama. All right. So y'all eat. So you've grown and eaten kohlrabi. All right. So I'm the odd man out here. I don't really know if I like kohlrabi. I tried it once. I don't think I cooked it properly. So I said that I didn't like it. But I'm going to try 1 plant of kohlrabi this year to see if I like it. If I like it, I'll grow more of it. If I don't, then I won't. Oh, hey Jacqueline, how are you? Four Seasons in the building. You growing it right now. It'll be your first time. Slaw can be sweet or a little savory. Okay. How old am I? I'm old enough. Why are you asking, Janelle? Let me know why you're asking, and I might answer your question because most people on this stream know how old I am because they've been here before. Okay, so kohlrabi is the odd one out. It didn't show up until the 1500s in Europe, so that's the history behind the kohlrabi, right? Most of the other brassicas were already well established by them. What makes kohlrabi different is that little bulb that grows up is the grows from the stem. So that's actually the stem part of the plant. Okay. Thank you for saying that I'm pretty. I am 43. Everybody, I think on this stream or that frequents me knows that I'm 43. Good morning, early risers. Yeah, I know it's kind of early, but we got to get it out the way. So farmers bred it so the stem could swell up into a thick round bulb above the ground, right? That bulb is crunchy, mildly sweet, and stores well. So I've never tried it that way. I've seen people make kohlrabi fries, right? So hey, French fry kohlrabi, yeah. So people have made it like that. You was guessing 35? I wish. So why does it look so weird? The leaves grow out on top of the swollen bulb like a antenna. The bulb itself is a smooth round and just sits there on top of the soil, and it genuinely looks like something crash landed onto the soil. So yeah, that's about the kohlrabi, right? So let me just, for those three plants, let me just give you the comparisons real quick. If you're thinking in your mind side by side, what do they look like? Oh yeah, that is right. Shelly's growing kohlrabi in her hydroponics, and I think, um, and I think Jacqueline, you are too. The green kohlrabi tastes like cabbage to you. Okay. Yeah, the trolls are awake this morning. There's a little badge by you. So, brother, I finally see the badges. I can't see them. Oh, I see them on my phone too. You guys have badges this morning, so you must be on the job. That was a little distraction because I didn't see that. Yeah, trolls never sleep. Trolls keep the internet alive. So let me give you the three plants side by side. It reminds you of how fennel looks like. I've never grown fennel, but I've seen pictures of it. Um, yeah, you're growing purple kohlrabi. For those of you that have grown kohlrabi, what is the massive difference in the taste in between purple kohlrabi and green kohlrabi? Uh, Great guess. What did he guess? Oh, I can't see it because I'm not in the right mode. See, look at that. YouTube doesn't want me to be great this morning. I didn't see what the guess was. Okay. So, if anybody knows, what's the difference? You're babysitting? Oh, you're 9-month-old? Hey, grandkids are a blessing. Good morning, Donzel. And good morning, Nancy. Good morning, good morning. The purple was sweeter. Okay. You only grew purple. Okay. My kohlrabi didn't get a chance to bulb last year. You have to plant it earlier this year. Okay. Purple is bitter and the green is mild, but I haven't tried this new one yet. Okay. Good morning, Todd. Good morning. Okay. So let's go through the differences in the three plants. So the part of the plant that you eat for kale are the leaves. The cabbage is the terminal bud. So remember that. In kohlrabi, you're eating the swollen stem. So the kale was bred approximately 600 BC, cabbage in ancient Rome, and kohlrabi in the 1500s in Europe. Monarchs are special, so you took one for the team. Okay. What farmers wanted it for? So they wanted the kale for the big leaves, cabbage, something that survives in the winter, and kohlrabi, the crunchy, storable root-like veggie. That's right. YouTube can't stop me. They over here messing with me with my little chat over here. I like to read the live chat and not the top chat. So, all right. So kale, you guys were right. It's tough and chewy when raw, right? So cabbage is crisp, dense, and layered. And then kohlrabi is crunchy and slightly watery. Okay? And so the kale, how does it grow? So leaves spread outward. We saw that. Cabbage forms a tight head, and kohlrabi bulbs swell up above the ground. So that is what it looks like. Okay? So let's go on to the cauliflower and Brussels sprouts next. Slightly watery with that face. I mean, Chanel, we got to try it at least once, right? Got to try it at least once. Got to try it at least once. Okay? So we're going to go on to the cauliflower and Brussels sprouts. So remember, these are all one species in the cabbage family, right? The brassicas. And you guys are pretty much yes, we gonna grow it. I'm gonna grow one, and you gonna grow one. If I can win or so, you can grow a kohlrabi, and we gonna do it together, okay? So cauliflower, the head actually looked like a bunch of tightly packed flower buds that never bloomed, right? Farmers bred it to stay white and compact. If it opens up to flowers, it's done. It's gone to flower. You can't eat it. So basically, it's a flower that will stay forever. You said nope. Good morning to all aspiring green thumbs out there. Good morning, Ether. How are you? Welcome to the chat. Brussels sprouts are tiny buds that grow along the long stalk. We've seen a Brussels sprout before. They look like tiny cabbages. And each little Brussels sprout has its own head. It's like a miniature cabbage. And single Brussels sprouts can produce, along one stalk, 20 to 30 Brussels sprouts. So that's a lot. So think about how many Brussels sprouts you eat and just plan accordingly, right? So 20 to 30 per Brussels sprout. So you tie it back to the, oh, good morning, Angela Calloway. So the big picture here, leaves, head, stem, flower buds, side buds. So that's pretty much what we're eating, what we're doing. So let's call out some of these gardening zones, right, and where you grow them in. So we're going to make a little pivot and shift this morning. Brassicas thrive in zones 3 through 9. That covers most of the United States. But if the heat is too brutal, it's not good, right? Not good at all. Not good at all. So their window for like the really, really, really hot zones is like January, right? Most people, I don't think Cece's in here, but I think she grows her brassicas between December, January-ish. If you want to know your grow zone, just go to Google, type in your zip code and say what grow zone is, and then put your zip code. It's going to tell you your grow zone, right? So it's the USDA Plant Hardiness Zone Map. The internet will give it to you. Google will give it to you. So here's what I want to know before we go on. I'm going to do another poll. Y'all know I love the polls. Cauliflower is a cool season crop. So which let's see, would you grow it for the big leaves? I'm simply asking y'all, which one would you grow? If you had to a preference. Everybody's saying hello. Good morning to the new person that came in. Good morning. Or would you do, I'm going to call Brussels sprouts, I'm going to call them the tiny grapes of the brassicas. So tell me on the poll which you prefer out of all of the ones that we've discussed. That is what the poll is for. Most people, I know they're going to pick the cabbage. And so that I kind of know, brassicas are your nemesis. I love them, but you haven't successfully grown anything except for Swiss chard, kale, and cabbage. So we're talking about a specific species of the Brassica family, and it's called the Brassica kohlrabi. I'm gonna type this in the chat so that somebody can put the pronunciation in there. Tell me the phonetic way to say this. I think it's kohlrabi. We are in the United States over here. And for those of you that are in here, can you, because sometimes I forget, what grow zones are you in? Welcome from India. Welcome in. I hope you subscribe and come back and enjoy the content on the channel. Go in and subscribe. You know, we're on our way to 2,000 this morning. Don't give up, Todd. Keep trying for the cabbage. It's so worth it. 100% agreed. So I'll tell you what my beef was with cabbage for a while. My beef was, it's one plant, and once you harvest it, for the most part, that's it. Except for CC, she harvests in the middle, and then she wants it to grow out of the shoots. I've never seen that before. She's the only one that I've seen do that, or said that they do that. So my battle with the cabbage was, you got to take up so much space, because you still got to give the cabbage its own space, right? You got to give it its own space. And it's like, that's a lot of space if you want to grow cabbages, right? So where are we with the subscribers? Yes, I'm checking my sub count this morning because I'm so close, two subs away. All right, so zone 8B, 7B here, 6A. So we're all, for the most part, everybody that is chatting this morning, they're in great zones to grow cabbages, brassicas, all those things, right? For those of you that are growing kale or variety, or grow kale, which is your favorite kale to grow? So my favorite kale to grow are the curly ones, right? A lot of people grow the dinosaur kale. I'm thinking that they use them in smoothies, because I've never actually seen someone cut up kale and put it in a pot. And for those of you that say kale tastes like nothing, last weekend I mixed kale, mustards, and collards together, and they were delicious. And it's probably all about the seasoning too, but yeah, that's my art. You like curly kale too? I knew we had something in common, sis. I knew we had something. You love curly kale. Curly kale is delicious, okay? And it is also delicious if you put it in smoothies. I haven't had a kale smoothie in a minute. This might encourage me to do that a little bit later, so we'll see. So we talked about what grow zones, curly kale, just like chicken fillets, okay? You got curly kale in your hydroponics right now. You know, I took my curly kale out because it was getting too big, and I just started harvesting on them. Mixed greens hit different, 100%. Mustard and collards rock. Kale, put some kale in there. I promise you, Larry, you will not regret it. That lacinato kale is for the dinosaurs. Why don't you like it, Tamiko D? Have you tried it, and like, how did you try it? Tell me why you don't like it. All right, let's talk about feeding the bee. So brassicas are heavy feeders, which is why I was trying to fertilize inside, right? It's tough, okay, very tough. So how do we feed it? Let's talk about it. Brassicas are heavy feeders, which is why I was trying to fertilize on the porch, made a mistake. They're not low maintenance. They eat a lot. So you got to keep them water. You got to keep them, they just eat a lot. So let's use the bodybuilder analogy. So, I used the dog analogy earlier. Bodybuilders need more protein and calories than someone who sits at a desk all day, right? Brassicas are the bodybuilders of the garden. So, the bodybuilders of the garden. Um, they need massive amounts of nutrients to build all those leaves and heads. So feed them light and they'll grow stunted. And if you feed them if you don't feed them enough, they'll be stunted, yellowing leaves, sad tiny heads, right? So the biggest nutrient that brassicas needs are nitrogen, right? Nitrogen. Nitrogen is the nutrient that drives leaf and stem growth. So that's why the kohlrabi needs it. That's why the kale needs it, and that's what you're doing. Good morning, Cheryl. In the bushes grinding. Go ahead and grind on. So Tamiko says it's cute for flower arrangements. I can't be using all your calories trying to chew up your food. Okay, so it's chewy. Okay, I get it. So without enough nitrogen, the leaves stay small and stuff like that. So the takeaway is brassicas need to be fed regularly and generously. Okay? Regularly and generously. So the best fertilizers, and some people don't want to use certain things in their gardens. I use it, and that's what I do for me. If you don't want to use them, don't. Do your research, find out what nitrogen-based fertilizers you can use that are natural and not natural, and figure out what works best for you. I'm not telling you what to use and not use. Just do what's best for you. So, number one, and I think I have some, is blood meal, right? That's 12% nitrogen, 0% phosphorus, 0% potassium. And you can buy them in different stages or whatever. So it's a fast-acting nitrogen bomb, great for leafy brassicas like kale. Sprinkle it around the base of the plant and water it in. Simple. It does smell kind of bad, and if you have a pet, they don't like it. Um, let's see. Tamiko is saying yes. Plus, I'm always nibbling in the garden, so the point is you're gonna have to make your mark, your rhubarb, so that you're not. Listen, do not eat the leaves of a rhubarb plant. I think we talked about that before. So yeah, do what you gotta do. Grow the plants that you need to grow. Stay away from the dinosaur kale. All fertilizers stink. Yes, and some stink more than others, right? Another one, which is what I use, the 511 fish emulsion. Now that don't stink. It stank. It stank real bad. Okay? Imagine like fish guts on your sun porch that's enclosed. That's how it was smelling out here. And it was starting to seep into the house. We had candles lit and everything. It was stank. So fish emulsion, a more balanced option, has nitrogen plus small amounts of potassium and phosphorus. So it's liquid. You dilute it in water. You water it in. Slower release than blood meal, and it's a little bit gentler on the plant. Also smells bad, but there's no way around it with organic fertilizer. So if you have an organic fertilizer that don't smell bad, tell us, because we all want to know. We all, meaning me and probably everybody else. If you have an organic fertilizer that's good for brassicas that don't smell bad, tell us. All of us want to know. All of us, okay? All of us want to know what fertilizer you're using. Okay. And so let me go back to, for those that are new and new gardeners that you don't know what NPK stands for, 3 numbers on the bag, and you see them on the bag. Let me see if I can find one real quick. Okay. Does this have it on here? It doesn't. But, okay. I'm going to use this to help me out this morning. Kind of like a show and tell. All right, Nichols, see you around. Do you use plant tone granulated? Cats like the smell and they dig up your flowers when you use it, but it smells good though. I don't use that. Send me a link in my email. Ashley, AgroThrive is organic and it doesn't smell bad. Okay, where's my pen? I'm gonna write that down. What's it called? AgroThrive. I'm gonna research it to see if that's something that I want to use. Okay. All right. So this is an example of the blood meal, right, that I use. That's just, I didn't choose the brand. It's just something that I picked up because it said blood meal, and I'm going to use it on my plants a little bit later today. Okay. You also like Super Thrive. It's more like vitamins, but plant seems to love it. What's it called? Super Thrive. See how I'm writing it down to do my research? Everybody else should be doing the same. Okay. Okay, so here's what I mean when I say the NPK and what's on it. You use plant tone, bone meal, blood meal, and fish emulsion. I have all of those. Okay, so we're gonna go back to what the NPK numbers mean. So if you're buying fertilizer, most of them have numbers on the bottle, right? And this is my fish emulsion that I use. Again, not promoting any specific brand, but this is just what I use. Okay. And so you'll see the numbers there, and it's NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, in that order. So the N, nitrogen, is for leaves and stems. P, which is the phosphorus, is for roots and flowers. K is for overall plant health and disease resistance, which is potassium. So that's just something that we could just take back from today. If you take back anything, make sure you know what NPK stands for and what it is good for, right? Why is this behind? Okay, so for leafy brassicas early on, you want the nitrogen to be high. Once they start forming heads, you can switch to a balanced out fertilizer outside. So I use very slow release granules, and it's an NPK of a 10-10-10 because it's very balanced. Yes, you love Super Thrive, but it's so expensive, so you're using seaweed fertilizer for now. Super Thrive is reasonably priced, but no organic or AeroThrive is organic and expensive. Okay. So you guys are trying all the things. Good morning. Have a beautiful day to you too. You're trying all the things this morning, so I love it. We love fish emulsion, but it makes everything smells like a dirty lake. Facts. That's facts, right? So blood meal, fast acting, dry, sprinkle it around the base, right? Best for leafy growth, early cabbage, smell factor, bad. Fish emulsion, 511 varies by brand, slow release, liquid, dilute in water, general feeding, more balanced, also smells very bad. So those are the two that we kind of talked about this morning. Good morning, J3. How are you? Chas, the AgroThrive is expensive on the zone, but less expensive on the company website. Got it. I have not tried either, but you look them up. They might work well. There are many forms of vitamin B. Super Thrive is probably the least expensive for the amount you use. Gotcha. So I haven't heard of either of those. Definitely going to look them up. Definitely going to look them up. All right, here we go. So here's something that I didn't know. And Hash, you and G Mama seem like you're very educated on this, but there's a secret that they say that most gardeners use NPK, but none of them test for boron. Good morning, Jamia. None of them test for boron. And boron is a micronutrient. Plants only need a tiny amount, but the cauliflower is a diva about it. So cauliflowers need it. So good gardener, good morning. So if you've heard of boron, put a 1 in the chat because I never heard of it until then. I was like Googling up a storm. And I'm trying to figure out what has boron that I can get to put in my garden, especially for the cauliflower and the broccoli. So if you've heard of boron, spelled Boron, you've heard of it. Okay, Jacqueline, tell me, where do you get it from? What is it in that you could put in your garden? Tell me about the boron. Where do you get it from? You're trying to stay focused on 1 or 2 fertilizers that you can use for hydroponics and cut out the garden. And out in the garden, I'm tired of spending. Yeah, it can become very, very expensive. So where do you get it from? So if the soil is low in boron, the cauliflower heads start to crack and turn brown inside. Cut it open in the center and it's called a hollow heart. So I've cut up on a cauliflower that was grown before and it had it and it's nasty looking, and I cut around it or threw it away. So it's not a disease, it's not a bug, it's just missing one mineral, right? Missing one mineral. Where do you get this boron from? So you add a tiny bit of boron to your soil, goes a long way. Too much of it is toxic, so think about that. So that was like an aha moment for me. Oh, good morning. She is Sunshine. Good morning, good morning. Okay, we have both chicken and goats, so most of your fertilizer is homegrown. Got it. Has anyone used Medina has to grow? I'm trying to find one for the outdoor garden instead of using mash blend everything. Okay. Okay, so Jacqueline is saying, I don't do boron. I just keep your garden simple, and you don't like cauliflower, so you don't grow cauliflower. Interesting. Um, what y'all talk about? Go get. You know what? Let me stay out y'all conversation. Okay. Okay. Have you guys, and I think everybody's gonna say yes. How many of you guys have tried to grow a brassica and it completely gone wrong? So I'll tell you what my offenders are. My offenders are broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower, all going wrong. Matter of fact, there are some outside, and once I pull the shade cloth back, I'm gonna pull them right out and just try again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Boron is one of the micronutrients. It's available in any complete nutrient regimen. So it's probably already in some of the fertilizers we use. Is that what you're saying? Hash. Everyone is saying good morning still. All right, perfect. So for those of you, and I think you have pretty much put it in the chat, what are you guys, is there a specific other than 511, blood meal, like what are you specifically using, and how often are you fertilizing? If your nutrients contain all 17 elements, then boron is included. I'm gonna start looking at some of these bags when I go searching. Jamie says, broccoli hasn't worked for me yet. Your Brussels sprouts are trying to come through. All right, come through, Brussels. I hope you make a video, because I like when you make a video on things grow. You get so excited, and I get excited for you, and then we just be in there excited together. We get in there and get excited together. Compost and leaf mold. Okay. Compost and leaf mold. What else? What else are you guys using other than 511 blood meal for your brassicas? You call your Brussels sprouts the garden unicorn? Why? You know what? I probably need to put these fertilizer back. I reached for my coffee and grabbed the 511. Imagine how that would have been. Imagine. How about plants looking weak despite fertilizing? Oh, well, it could also be plants can look weak despite fertilizing if you don't water them properly. Give me 1 second here. Something happened to my phone, the brightness of it. So they could look weak because of, it could be watering issues, right? So Let me end this poll. In the poll, in the poll. All right, 27 votes. Most of you want to grow cabbage. Some of you want to grow kale, some broccoli. Okay, so super juice is key. Listen, I saw some of y'all with the super juice, and that stuff looked nasty, and it looked like it stank. You could be overwatering it. You're at a loss. Overwatering is a thing. It is a thing, so it's a possibility. So it's a lot of different reasons. You started using incredible bulk and kelp recently. Okay. Yes. So Chanel, you're laughing. So I have a difference between something that stinks and something that stank. And 511 and super juice, they stink. Okay. Meredithism. I think that's Peach. Good morning. Good morning. Super juice. Super juice. Super juice is when you mix everything and you leave it in the water and then you pour it on your stuff. Yes, stinks. Old Hillbilly, I agree with you. Brussels sprouts, I'm going to try again this fall. Okay. Nisi says, I use Master Blend for everything. It's for hydroponic gardens, but it can be used outside. It worked great for both inside and out. And you just keep it indoors to find it something for GSs. Okay. That stank that stank means it's good stuff. I believe you. I believe you. It definitely stinks, but no more than 511. Stink, stunk, stank. Right. Miss Linda does use super juice. You just bought some liquid seaweed kelp to try. Okay. Okay. I get it. Okay. So let's break it down. Spring versus fall, right? Brassicas do not like extreme heat. They have two sweet spots, right? There's the spring window and the fall window. You never try 511 because I heard cats like it, and I'm afraid that they will want it and try it. Seems like the garden loves stank. Yes, the garden loves stank. Okay. So spring window, plant your plants 4 weeks before the last frost date. If you're starting from seeds, you got to try it even more earlier than that, because they need cool weather to grow heads properly. Okay. Kelp is good too, but it's also pricey. Jamie's other account. Oh, thank you. Made the 2K. All right, we made it to 2K this morning. Y'all know that was one of my goals of the morning, to make it to 2K. I appreciate all of you. Appreciate all of you. Good morning, Michael. How are you? Definitely don't want to even stink your cats in your yard. Right. So I think cats are attracted to it because it smells like fish. We know cats like fish, or at least I think they like fish. All right. So the fall window for planting plants 10 to 12 weeks before your last frost date. Well, before your first frost date. This one takes more planning to do. Thank you, everybody. Takes more planning to do. Everybody saying thank you on the 2K. Thank you. So let me tell you, I was looking at my subs, like I feel like I was refreshing every 5 minutes until I was just like, you know what? It'll happen this weekend. Giveaway? Am I going to do a giveaway at 2K? Maybe. We'll see. I might do something different. Matter of fact, here's what we're going to do. And I talked about this earlier. Hope everybody had time to go in and turn on their memberships, right? Did you turn on your memberships? And this is what we're going to do for the 2K. Let's see who gets the memberships. All right. Donzel, Ty, Casings, Viva Vomp, and Blue Ocean. Congratulations. I made it to 2K. We got 5 new members, y'all. There we go. Celebrate. All right. It's only up from here. Spring will be probably a huge boost. Yes, that's right. That's how we got to think about it. So congratulations to the new members of the channel. Make sure you go in and you check out these members only videos. Yes, you did. You got a free membership. How you doing, Keisha? Stay blessed. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday. You are welcome. Congratulations to the new members. Shelly says, congratulations, new members. Make sure you take advantage of your membership. Watch the videos. There you go. So if you are a new member, go in, and I'm going to wait till tomorrow to shoot the video. And last week's new member video is a Ask Me Anything. And the Ask Me Anything, you go into the comment section, Ask Me Anything. I'm going to open up my phone and ask the questions for this week's new member video. So make sure you go in and do that. And if you didn't get one of the new memberships, you could join and be a member. So you could do that too. So I think it is, let me just try this. If you want to be a member, and I do have perks, right? Thank you. So if you want to become a member and you didn't get gifted a member, a link should come up. Click the link. You can join and become a member. We would be happy to have you. And you also get access to the Discord early. It'll open up to everyone tomorrow. But if you're a member, you had access to it a whole week ahead of everybody else. So those are some of the member perks, and there are more. Yeah, make sure you go in and subscribe too. Thank you, everybody. So that makes my day start off even better than what it's going. So I just want to say thank you, everybody, because you guys made it happen. Okay? So let's go back into planning. We talked about fall. Spring, you're racing to get a head start before the heat arrives. Fall, you need enough time to plan so that you can get the plants in there before fall freeze. Fall gives you more growing time, but you have to plan. So that's the difference between spring and fall planning for your brassicas. So let's make sure that we plan them correctly, okay? And in the spring, pest pressure is lower, and in the fall, it can often be bigger. Big Bama, thank you for the gift. You are welcome. Oh, thank you for the jewels. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Miss J. Okay, everybody's saying hello. Perfect. So the harvest weather is cool to warm, so you don't want them to get too cold in the spring and the fall. You want to harvest them before they get too cold. So that's the real difference, right? So here's something, and this is what a lot of people think about and talk about, right? And I say this a lot, and no one ever knew what I was saying. No one ever knew what I was saying. So Brussels sprouts are noticeably better after a frost. It's not a myth, and let me tell you why. Here's what actually happens. When the temperature drops, the plants get stressed, right? And as a survival response, the plant itself converts the starches into sugars to protect the cells from freezing. So when I say that brassicas, they get sweeter after a frost, that's why. It's turning the starches into sugars. So the more sugar equals a sweeter taste when you eat it. So for those of you that say, oh, I don't like kale because they taste bitter, try planting them in the fall. Let a frost hit them, not kill them, hit them. And they'll be sweeter. Same with collard greens, same with Brussels sprouts. And it's called stress sweetening. So that's the name for it, stress sweetening. The cold literally makes the plant sweeter. If you knew that, if you knew the exact reason, put a 1 in the chat if you knew that. If you knew about the stress sweetening part of it. And that is why that's why I like to plant my brassicas in the fall. You knew that. There you go. How many of you plant in the spring, type spring? How many of you plant in the fall, type fall? If you do both, type both. Big Bama says your grandmother tried that. It's called enzymatic hydrolysis. Yeah. And the street name for it is stress sweetening. Both. You do both. Okay. I, up until now, have only done fall. But because I have these plants in here, I'm going to do both this season to see how I like it. I'm also going to see how I'm transitioning, how I'm going to be able to transition my garden, which is going to tell me whether I'm going to like it in the spring versus the fall or both. So most of us, some of them both, okay. You didn't know it was stress. You just knew it was cold and it makes your carrots, collards, and cabbage sweet. Yeah, the street. That's the street name for it. Stress sweetening. Yeah. So that's the street name for it. So this is why Brussels sprouts are more fall or winter region crops. That's why they grow them that way. The stress of the cold, literally, kind of like humans. You know how like when we get cold and we're inside, sometimes we stress eat. You know, we eat sweets, I guess. I think the spring is coming earlier than we think. Buds are showing up early. I don't know. I don't see any buds, and I just see snow, cold, and plants that are breaking. I guess it depends on where you are. You like the street name? I like the street name. It's easier to say. It's easier to say. Okay, so let's think about this, okay? Let's think about this. Create a poll. And this is what I want to know. What? Y'all know I like the polls. No signs of spring in your area, snow, ice, and cold. Look, same here. Keisha, we the same. We are the same. Um, and then let's try one more. We're seeing buds. We're not seeing buds yet. However, they're popping out in Georgia, so we're not far behind. Okay. Y'all, it's like bitterly cold here. Right. Thank you, brother, for the reminder. I think I said it earlier. Um, it's a cool light fixture. Thank you. It is the last day for members only to play around in the Discord. So members, if you haven't played around, started your post, commented, and done all those things, make sure you go in and you play around with it today, because tomorrow you have to share with everybody. All subscribers and viewers get access to Discord tomorrow after the live stream. So if you haven't, and if you want to know how to do it, go in and watch the video, I think from 2 weeks ago, and it has a very brief how-to. I may do another how-to. It depends on what happens when it goes live and where I think people need the most help. So again, thank you, brother, for typing that. The last day for members only in the Discord is today. It opens up for everyone tomorrow after the live stream. Crash course. Yeah, crash course. Discord is fun. You're loving it. I'm glad that you're loving it. But while I'm in here, before I go forward, I just want to give a shout out to my mods that are on today. Chanel does not have a channel, so I didn't create a command for her. But go in and sub to Shelly and Rich Black Man. Is there another mod on today? I don't think CC is on today, and I don't think I saw. Actually, I think Fortune is on, but under another name. So let's do this. There you go. Thank you, Shelly. Appreciate you. Okay, so hit up their channels as well. I'm pretty sure they would love the subs. All right, so here's something that's not my strong point. I don't test the pH in my soil. If you test the pH in your soil, type in pH, because I don't. I do not test the pH in your soil. Does anybody here do that, right? So brassicas want soil to have a pH between 6 and 7. 6, 7, right? Between 6 and 7, right? You do, Hash, you do. What do you test it with, right? If your soil drops below a 6, you open up the door for a nasty problem called clubroot. I've never heard of this. It's a soil-borne pathogen, not a bug. And it lives in the dirt. It attacks the roots and causes them to swell up thick, deform clubs. The roots rot, the plants wilt, and then your brassica is basically done. right? There's no cure. Once clubroot is in your soil, it stays for years. Discord is just kind of like a little chat forum that I created for everybody in the gardening community outside of the live streams. If they have any questions, they want to show off their garden, and they want to chat about garden stuff, you can go in Discord. I created a garden channel for it, and so that everyone outside of Discord can still have access to gardening questions and stuff like that. I think Chanel's community page is open. Chanel, you should at least use your channel to promote your favorite creators on your community page and maybe occasional pics from the garden. She'll see. Um, it's a platform where we use community together, where we can communicate together outside of YouTube. Absolutely, Shelly. Great explanation. Okay. So you test your soil pH before planting. There are a lot of cheap test kits at any garden center. They have them on Amazon. I don't have one that I buy. And if your garden is too acidic, add garden lime to raise it. And then something that I am a firm believer in is crop rotation. Rotate your brassicas to different spots each year. Don't plant them in the same place two times, 2 years in a row. So how many of you do crop rotation? And if you do crop rotation, tell me why you do it. Tell me why you do it. What's a tell us what's a slurry test in layman terms? What's a slurry test? Just for giggles, I kind of want to test my pH this year. I do. I kind of want to test the pH this year. What's a slurry test if you can hear me? How do I end this? I did this wrong. You plant. I plant in different areas for rotation. Good. You rotate. Yes, I do rotate because I read that that's the best thing to do to keep pests, and that's why I do it, Ty. That is why I do it. Okay. That is why I do it. You take some soil and you add water to check the pH. Yeah, I saw some of those tests on Amazon. I think I'm gonna get one just to test it to see what happens. And to all of you that are in today, thank you, thank you, thank you. We have hit over 50 likes today, so I appreciate that as well. Okay, Keisha H, thanks for that. I just don't want a channel. I'm not into social media. Okay, you just love gardening, and that's why the Discord works for someone like Chanel, because she can go into Discord, she can type in threads, and not have to have or keep up with content, which is great. You can do a simple home test with baking soda and vinegar. Okay. Do cherries actually have cyanide? I don't know. Not as accurate, but it'll put you in the ballpark. What happens when you have the baking soda and vinegar with your soil? How is it supposed to react? You know what? I'm going to do a segment on soil testing. I'm going to write that off to the side because that is something that I kind of want to know about, right? So anybody else test their soil and all those things? Let me know. If you are new to the channel, please make sure you subscribe if you're in here. That would be great. I appreciate everything. Okay. You can test free through your Master Garden Extension office if you sell your produce. I don't sell my produce. I give it away. I don't sell it. Will they do it if I give away stuff? Oh, thank you, Shelly. Congratulations on 2K subbies and showing up here consistently, dropping knowledge on us. I appreciate you. No, I appreciate you. Thanks for that. Always thinking. I try to, when I notice people in here consistently, I try to do things that, or do stuff that I think will help them, especially if you commented and stuff like that. You rotate your raised beds, but you have not rotated your green stalks. I'm going to talk to y'all about my green stalk toward the end because I made a decision. Angel, really hope not. You consumed a whole bag of cherries. I like cherries too. Sell one. Oh, this is what your teacher said. Sell one for just $1. Got it. Okay. Okay. So we talked about soil testing. I'm going to do some research on soil testing and all those things. And maybe we'll spend part of a segment talking about it. Just test for alkaline soil, add vinegar, test for acidic, add baking soda. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's talk about garden pests, right? Garden pests. Um, so let me see if I can pull it up. The cabbage butterfly, because it's really pretty. But for gardeners, we may not like it if we knew what damage it was causing. Pull up the cabbage butterfly real quick. Images. I'm gonna pull up this image. Do y'all think this butterfly is pretty? See if y'all can see it. You think the butterfly is pretty? Look at that on the flower. Looks pretty, right? Looks pretty. It's not the update you think, Shelly. Not the update you think. Let's see this. I'm gonna try something. And I'm gonna do it for this amount of time. See how great y'all are. Let's try this. That yeah, so all right. So y'all saw the cabbage. It's a pretty but a pest, right? That's the butterfly that destroyed your collards last year. There you go. The cabbage moth is the cutest little devil. The cabbage moth is a cute little devil. So here's the thing, right? Big time creator with 2K subs, famous one in the family. Oh, thank you, brother. I'm the famous one. Famous one in the family. Okay. I appreciate you. I do. I really, really do. Let me heart that and heart this. Heart you with Shelly. That butterfly destroyed your whole fall garden. You see that? The prettiest things can destroy your family. Thank you guys. All right. So here's why that pretty little butterfly. One female lays around 400 eggs on brassica leaves, right? The eggs hatch into tiny green caterpillars called larvae. Larva. The larvae can eat twice their body weight in a single day. They eat from the inside of the leaves first, and by the time you notice the damage, they've already been at it for days. And so let me just show you what the larvae look like. So you see that pretty little butterfly? Let me show you what their little larvae look like. It's nasty. So their little larvae ain't so pretty, right? Let's do this. Check it out. It's not so pretty, right? I don't know if y'all can see that if it's a glare. Can you see that? The little larvae, they're not pretty. You spent a lot of time with your bug swatter in the garden last year. They're quick. You have a short on your channel about the cabbage moth. Friend or foe? Definitely the latter. There you go. I don't like them at all. And then so here's how the leaves have. Let's look up the larva. I know we know what it all looks like, right? We know what the damage looks like. Here's a good example of one. Check it out. This is the damage that it can cause. But if you get to them early, you don't have to worry about it. Incorporate a good IPM to your grow early on. What is IPM? What is IPM? So if you have it on a cabbage, by the time they're done with it, it look like Swiss cheese. They'll find your way under your frost protection and had their own way while you were away from home. RIP Fall Garden. That photo is triggering. I'm so sorry. Yes, Patty, integrated pest management. Thank you, Hash. Thank you for putting that in there. So, how to spot them early. Check underside your leaves. If there are eggs there, they're young larvae hidden. Look for tiny white butterflies around your garden in the spring and summer. If you see them, check them. Check your plants that same day. And how to deal with them. So, I think someone, Ty, just said that they found her way under the covers. Okay. Physical netting that keeps butterflies from landing. So, you want to put row covers on. Use BT if you have it. Some people don't. It's a natural bacteria spray that kills larvae from, and it's safe from humans and pollinators. So use PT. And they eat and poop out yucky greens. That's right. It's disgusting. And for some people, you can hand pick the caterpillars for infestation. It's kind of gross, but it works. Okay. Kind of gross. So y'all are all talking about it's a nemesis. We hate them. All of us, we hate them, right? So chemical warfare, right? Talk about a little bit of chemical warfare. Brassicas have a built-in defense system. You cannot pick them off. Icky. You're worse than me. If I have gloves on, I will pick them off. How you doing, Sylvia? Welcome in. You use BT for all worms. That's right. That's right. Um, so yeah, brassicas have a built-in defense system and it's genuinely clever, but they can't sustain everything. The plant stores two separate chemicals in different parts of the leaf. I don't know how to say this word, so I'm going to spell it in the chat. I'm not even going to try. GL. So they have this in them. I think I spelled it right. Yep. So it's stored in one area, and then they have I can't spell this one either. Myro. And that M word is an enzyme, right? And it's stored in a different area. When the insect bites or breaks the leaf tissues, the two chemicals mix together, um, and it creates a toxic chemical for bugs. But it doesn't stop all bugs, okay? Glow, glucosin. Nope, I'm not doing it. You're gonna try the cover method this year? Yeah, me too. After I put my hoops out there, I'm gonna try different things. Um, I'm not good with Discord. I guess I'm old. You just gotta go in there. We're helping people out too. So yeah, that's let's compare. Let's compare the cabbage white butterfly and then other common pests, right? So there's the cabbage white butterfly, which is what we were just talking about, aphids, and flea beetles, right? So the cabbage white butterfly is a larva that eats leaves. The aphids are tiny sap-sucking insects, and flea beetles are just small jumping beetles, right? So that's one thing. Big Mama, that's a great idea about covering. Definitely works. Yeah, I've seen quite a few gardeners cover their stuff and it looks like it works. You'll find white cabbage butterflies on and under leaves. Aphids, you find them clustered on the stem and leaves undersides. And then flea beetles on leaf surfaces, especially seedlings. So be careful come springtime when you start to put your seedlings out. Please look for the flea beetles because they jump all over the place. Cabbage and white butterflies, they damage fast. So the larvae eat aggressively, right? They can eat their 2 times their body weight. Aphids start slow at first and then they build up. Y'all saw my aphid problem that I had back there. And then the flea beetles are very fast on young plants. Um, the organic fix for these things are row covers, BT spray, and handpick for the cabbage Butterflies, for aphids, blast them with water or neem oil. And for flea beetles, row covers, and DE. Mirasanese is how it sounds. Okay. I was a stalker last season for the squash wine borers. I would try to cover method and hand pollinate your squash. Yep. Whenever I see spiders or webs in the garden, I look because I know that there's an insect problem. I'll hunt it down. Okay, hunting the pest down. Hunting the pest down. Okay. So let's go back a little bit and let's talk about bolting. We talked about bolting very, very shortly. And bolting, and I say it on a lot of my videos, is when the plant decides it's done growing food and switches to making seeds, right? What triggers it? Heat is the main trigger. Once the temperature hits 80 degrees or above, most brassicas will panic, right? They try to go to seed. And excuse me, stress from drought or inconsistent watering can push them to bolt too. Here's the channel that does thank you, Shelly, because I'm going to have to use that. I would rather type it than say it wrong, okay? Andrea's One Stop Garden. Good morning. How are you? Welcome in. We're going to be talking to Andrea pretty soon, so check out her channel too. So what it looks like, the plant suddenly shoots up a tall flower-like stalk, sometimes 2 to 3 feet. It depends on what it is. The vegetable part, meaning the head, becomes bitter and unusable, and it becomes like, some of them have, like, especially for brassicas, the little yellow flowers, right? So that's one of the things. So bolting is basically street term for, like, it's the plant saying, like, all right, I'm done here, I'm out. Good luck with this heat, I'm out, right? And they're very dramatic, right? But we like the dramatic sometimes. We like for our plants to go to seed because that's how we get seeds for the next season, and we don't have to buy them, okay? So I am going to let a few of my plants bolt this season depending on where I put them. As long as I don't have to transition them out of the garden, hey, it's good. Please don't forget to like the live. Thank you for that, Chanel. Andrea's One Stop Garden says, I'm sleepy, still in bed with espresso, 6:36 a.m. here, but I'm good. I thank you for joining us. You're like 3 hours behind in Canada, right? Thank you for joining us. So we talked about these prevention tips, shade cloth, succession planning. Also, one of the things that we would look for is bolt resistant varieties or heat resistant, slow bolt, heat tolerant. Look for all these things on your seed packets when you start to look for things, right? So let's look for those varieties. We're at 53 likes and 43 watching. So people are coming in and out, which is great. All right, so let's see. Your biggest garden struggle is pests eating everything. Was a problem for me one season. Timing and not knowing when to plant is the second biggest problem. A lot of people overwater or underwater, so you have watering issues. And the least amount of you say that plants bolting too fast. So let's just end that poll. Good morning, Chris. How are you? All right, perfect. Perfect. So how many of you have ever dealt with bolting? How many of you ever dealt with bolting? All right. So I wanted to have enough time to show you guys today, to show you what I plan on doing. Good morning, Herman. You have Jamia? Okay. I wanted to show you, I'm going to do 2 things today. My voice. I am going to, remember last week bolting intentionally gets more seeds? Right. Sylvia cilantro does not like heat. They say I'm out all the time. Thank you, CC. Thank you. Congratulations on 2K. Thank you, CC. Welcome in. The mods was working hard this morning while you were sleeping, CC, but I'm glad you got a little break. So I'll show you what I'm gonna do this morning. Let me turn you around. See down here, I don't know if you can see it. Don't know if you can see it. But this is what we're gonna do this morning. We're going to take out the broccoli from here and put it in soil. And I'm also going to use the blood meal to water in some of these plants. But let me see. Do I have containers? I don't want to put them in I washed these containers out yesterday, but I want to put them in a bit bigger container. So let me just grab some bigger containers. All right, so what I'm going to do this morning is have the gallon containers here, and I have the soil. Actually, I think I'm going to move devices so that you guys can kind of see me better. The wind is going crazy this morning. All right, let's try something. I'm going to do it so you guys can see better. Excuse me while I do this. Okay, I think that's better. Can you guys see? Give me your 1 in the chats if you can see. All right, so we got you here, and scoot you over here. In here, I have 2 broccoli plants that are way too big. They're like leaning and all of this. And I also have here some soil. Do I have snow? I have a lot of snow still. I have a lot of snow. All right, so this is the soil, the potting soil I'm going to use. And I already know that the roots are going to be out of control. Let me move this box out of my way. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take one of these. And I have water over here already that these plants were being watered in. As you can see, last night I forgot to take these plants out because I was watering them. But these are also all plants that I've taken out of the hydroponic system. And I need some water in here. And hopefully the mods are moderating the chat because I'm not looking at the chat right now. I'm just going to fill this up with some water. Okay. Does anybody make their own soil? Yeah, let Hash know. The reason why I don't make my own soil is because I don't have time. Okay, so have water, have soil, have pots. It's only 2 of them, so it shouldn't give me that much of a problem. I'm going to take these 2 and put them in the soil here. Put them in the water. I need to make space for myself, so move these up to the lights. There we go. Now we got some space. Cooking with fish grease now. Oh, gloves. So I'm going to pretty much as you guys have seen me done plenty of times by now, is take the soil, put it in here, wet it really, really good, because I'm taking it from one wet habitat to another. And another thing is I have this bag here because I used it with something else. So I just want to make sure I get the good use out of it. Very light. And for these, I'm not going to put fertilizer in it right away. I just added nutrients to the water for this, to the water for that particular hydroponic system yesterday. So I might be packing it down too much actually, but it's okay. Oh, excuse me. So I'm just gonna come in. I know that the roots are probably gonna be very, very long, so I'm just trying to put a deep enough hole in here. And what I'm also gonna do is, without creating too much of a mess, I'm just gonna try to wet the soil real good. I probably should have wet the soil before I put that hole in there, because now all the soil is going down to the middle where I just made my little perfect hole. So I'm oversaturating it just because, like I said, I'm taking it from the hydroponic system and putting it in this soil. So here we go. Put my little hole back down in here because I know that the root is going to be super duper long, or at least I hope it is, and I hope I don't take too much of the root off of it. All right, so first one. Oh my God. Excuse me. I don't know why I have the sneezes this morning. So check it out. So it's real big, and this is a broccoli plant. I've been eating the leaves off of the bottom, but it kind of is too tall to be in there, so I'm just going to take it right out. Oh, this broke off, and it's fine. But this is one of the ones where I split it before, or at least tried to. That's why they're... Let's see if I could get this off without breaking it too much. But it has been past due to come out. Tomorrow, I'm also going to be taking stuff out of another hydroponic system. I'm going to leave it indoors. This particular plant is going to stay inside until after April, because I want it to still qualify for the... I planted this broccoli for the WIG challenge, not realizing it was going to get this big. And before you ask, no, I'm not going to cut my basket. This is one of the good baskets. If it was one of the other baskets, I probably would try it. So the other one is also a good basket. So let me just bring you in. I'm trying to, as you can see, separate the roots here. Kind of breaking them a little bit. Let's see if I can get the plant out. Now I have to do the same thing on this side. So, and before someone says, or before I panic, I did the same thing to the other plants. You're kicking some of your plants outdoors. See, I would do that if the snow wasn't still outside. I actually want to sit some on top of the snow, but I want the weather to be above a certain temperature to do that. And right now, it's consistently below. So check it out. I got a lot of those roots out of the basket. Put this down in here. Just put one of these gloves back on. And it's probably going to lean for a little bit and be sad for the first couple days, but it had to come out of the hydroponic system because, like I said, it's simply too big. You know what? I'm going to take this off. And then I'm going to prop dirt all around it. I'm going to steal from this one. All right. So we got one done. Move it over to the side. All right. So I need a lid. Actually, I don't need a lid. I'm going to put something else in here, I think. I'll put a lid for now. All right. So that's one broccoli plant. Got to get one more out of here. And this is the one that is wreaking the most havoc. And the roots are like all tangled. I'm like ripping roots out of here. You can go back in. You can stand up straight. So check it out. Check out this one. All right. So take the sticker off. And the root on this one, or even the stem. So y'all know I cut some of these leaves last week, but look how thick that stem is. And I guess this is where the broccoli can come out, if it ever does. So yeah, here we go. Just trying to unravel and see how much of it I can take out without ripping it. All right. And this bottom leaf can go. Do y'all remember how I used to feel when ripping these roots apart? It used to like mess with me real bad. Now the one thing that messes with me bad is the one thing that I won't do, or that I decided I'm not gonna do, is instead of like cutting the sponge to separate them, the one thing I am gonna do is thin them out, because I don't like thinning and cutting them, because that made my nerves bad. So you see I saved a lot of that root. So I'm just drop it on down in here. Matter of fact, I need to make the hole a little bit bigger for this one. And this one's stem is a lot thicker too. So I think it'll be okay. At least we're hoping that they're gonna be okay. But I do know that for these, I think broccoli needs like a whole lot of space. So these may perhaps, is it gonna stand up? Look, they're standing up. I'm gonna add a little bit more soil on top here. Make sure it's nice and stable. And check me out. I got 2 more holes in here, and I can actually start to lower my light back down now for these other greens. And eventually these other greens are gonna get harvested. Oh, here's what I'm looking for. My lids. And I can put a lid back here. And the holes that are not being used, or things have not grown, what I'm gonna probably do tomorrow on stream is harvest some more of these leaves from these brassicas, so I can lower the light even more, because I'm gonna take the ones that have nothing growing in it, and I'm gonna put even more brassicas in this system after I take the bigger leaves off. So you know, I just did a big harvest out of this system last week, and look how much they grew ever since then. hold this up here. And tomorrow I'm also going to, you know what? I got a little distracted for a minute. So what I'm also going to do tomorrow is, let me just take you through to show you. 1 second. Okay. Let me turn it. I'll come through and read the chat in a second, but you remember how I had an issue with the basil here? It's now growing. You can kind of see it. And I don't know if you can see it. My tomatoes are starting to turn colors. So check it out. So tomorrow, and for those that were wondering, do we still have snow out? Yes, we do. Lots of it. It will not go away. I need it to warm up so it can melt. Okay. So that's oh, so we have removed some things. Yes, Chaz. I'm going to go back and read part of the chat, and then I will come back to telling you what's in stored. Okay. You do. So this is to answer Hash's question. I make mix for your container garden. I mix 4-part sunshine mix, number 4-part tea compost. Okay. Nice plants. Everybody saying hello. You're kicking plants out. We're back in the CC. You said you're back in the 80s, like temperature. I'm jealous. The plant looks really healthy. The plants are very, very healthy. You got plants to kick out too, tomatoes, squash, and herbs. Sylvia, who is that? Sylvia, you put squash inside your hydroponic system? That's, how fast did it grow? Because squash plants come up super fast, so I was just assuming that people wouldn't put squash in there. The stem is thick. Yep. Let's see. I'm a big OG with those roots now. You right, you got that right. Let's see. CC Foraging drop in chats. Perfect, thank you. How do the leaves taste? The leaves on the broccoli taste just like any other brassica leaf to me, and it could also be how I seasoned them, right? So yes, I plant the sponge along with the roots. Cool. I wondered about that. Yes, because eventually the sponge will just go in. Tastes just like mixed greens. Yep. Broccoli leaves are delicious, kind of like collard greens. Yes, they are. Let's see. Yes, Chas, I remember when you used to want to cry every time you transplanted them to hydroponics. But I'm a big girl now, right? Because I ain't no punk. I'm opening your arrow garden that the kids gave you years ago. It only has 3 holes, so I can only grow 3 plants. Choose your plants wisely. Does anybody have any suggestions for Nancy to grow those plants? Yay, tomatoes. Yes. Nancy going to be 3 beautiful, delicious plants. I 100% agree. 3 is better than none. Absolutely. You have 2 Astia dwarf zucchini plants growing in your air garden, so it can be done. They grow fast. Yes. Nancy, you know, last week you said you were opening up that aero garden. What happened? What kind of seeds are you planting? We all want to know. We're being nosy right now. So tomorrow, make sure you come in. If you haven't viewed any of the content last week, please do use this weekend to go in and catch up. I had an update to my WIG 2025 challenge plants. I had some questions, especially around the flowers. So if you guys have any tips and tricks, please do go in and leave some comments there. If you are a member, please do, before tomorrow, go in and put your questions to ask me anything. I'm going to say ask me almost anything. Questions there. I will answer them so that they can come back to you. So, yeah. You have to see what they came with. Oh, Nancy, no, she's not in trouble. I'm just picking with her. So yeah, make sure you guys go in the Ask Me Anything, watch the content. Members, you only have members only access to the Discord until tomorrow's live stream. After the live stream, you're gonna be mixed in there with everybody. So use this opportunity to go in and post whatever threads, questions, post whatever pictures you want. Do all those things, okay? So we're going to end it with today. I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning up in here today. And yeah, I'll see you guys at the top of tomorrow. Thank you, everybody that helped me make it to my 2K. Thank you to my brother, Rich Black Man, for the super chat today. Thank you to Shelly's Homestead Hideaway for the super chat today. Thank you to the moderators, and thank you to all the viewers that came in today. Stay tuned into the channel. The podcast will be launching a little bit early. We thought we were going to do it second quarter of the year, but we're going to do it in the first quarter of the year. So in February, in a couple weeks, my very first podcast episode will drop. So thank you, Andrea. So yeah, have a great day, everybody. Stay warm, stay safe. For those of you that are in still snowy weather, y'all be safe out there. I'll peace out. I'll see y'all later. Have a great day on purpose. Do something productive today. And yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Stay nice, warm, and toasty. And do something in your garden, even if it's just planting. All right? Have a good day, everybody. I'll see y'all later.